Okay, so let's slowly start. Of course, welcome to the webinar dedicated to the topic of shopping shops, also known as brand stores, brand zones. I will probably switch these terms, and don't worry, they pretty much mean the same. So that you won't be confused. Just a small note: this meeting is being recorded. So, of course, if you're not wish to be recorded, you can turn off your camera, and no worry about this. Before we actually jump into the subject, I need to just a few words why it's only me here and my face and not the two faces like it was promised, let's say. So Marta couldn't be today with us because she, as many people right now in the gloomy weather in Poland, fell sick. So, but I will try to cover for her and let's say explain all the topics in enough details as also she would. So yeah, that's the small word of introduction, and also what you can expect from this webinar. So my goal during this webinar is to like share with you or equip you with some of the best, let's say, practices, like in general, not only for Q4 or for these high seasons. So let's say, don't expect that this deck will be filled with beautiful visuals and like many examples, because I wanted this to be like a essence, like a pill of knowledge about how to work with brand stores in the high seasons, but also on daily basis in order to make sure they perform well, and to make sure that you, let's say, build successful brand store strategy for all of the seasons, pretty much. So let's take a look into the agenda. So we will start with some basics, actually. So we will talk a bit about what our brand, because I know that not all of us here might have the knowledge about what are brand stores and what are the benefits of them. So I will just briefly walk through these basics and explain them, and then we will move to very, in my opinion, important point, because I will share with you some best practices to make sure that the store works and performs well in general, and that it has good foundation and to work on daily basis. And only then we will go to, let's say, in seasons adaptations and explanation how to squeeze out the most of your store during these high seasons or during campaigns, activations, not only like Q4, but in general. And once learning that, I will also walk you through some, let's say, day-to-day good practices about maintaining the store in order to make sure that the store is up to date and fresh all the time and you're not staying behind. And then at the very end, we will have a Q&A session. Also with me today is Maya, who will be, let's say, a moderator of the webinar. So if there will be any questions written on the chat, she will take notes, and then we can get back to them at the end. When we will have some, let's say, reserved time for Q&A. Okay, so without further ado, let's go and learn a bit about what are brand stores. So, in simple words, brand store is a area in e-retailer's environment where you have the power to decide how you present yourself and your products. So basically, you're not only relying on the e-retailer's layout and environment, but you can create your own place there, your own zone, and decide how to present your product, present your content, information about yourself. So this is like your small place, your branded experience within external environment, which is e-retailers' site. And many brands and e-retailers too consider it a marketing tool, which is, I think, rightfully so, because for many e-retailers, it is a part of like a marketing package that they are offering for the brands who are selling on their store. And they're offering as a marketing tool to, let's say, promote the brand and promote the products even more, to make them more visible. So this is like a common practice, and for some of the e-retailers, it is free, but then like visibility of the store is paid. So like with Amazon, you can create the store; it's for free for you to create the store, but then in order for it to be visible, to be findable with banners and other things, you need to pay for the advertising. So that's also a smart approach, I think. But what is important to understand that when it comes to different e-retailers and what is possible on their environment from the technical perspective, we can define two, let's say, main types of brand store structure, which is first one is one page, so a simple structure, and then multi-page store. And just to understand it a bit better and visualize it, one page is pretty much a flat single page experience with no sub pages underneath. So whenever you can see some links or banners, they will probably link you to a listing on the e-retailer site. It will no longer be, let's say, your environment, as opposed to multi-page that you can see on the right-hand side, which is like a layered experience. Your store is not only one page, but also sub-pages that you have full control over. And on multi-page, the banners, the links, the navigation menu will link you probably to the sub-pages of your store. So still maintaining, let's say, the experience of your store. When on, for example, on one page, you might also have a menu, but this menu will probably not redirect you to any sub-pages, but it will like swivel you down to drag you down to some specific section, for example, on this one page. So it won't be like redirects to other pages, but it will just move you down to the specific page that you clicked on in the navigation menu. And this is important to understand because with these structural differences, it is important to adjust your approach because, for example, one page is much more limited space. So you need to be much wiser when it comes to applying your strategy because basically you have less space to execute it. And like really each section, each banner has to fight for its like survival there because you don't want to make this page too long. That's really important because we cannot forget about the user experience on one page Shopinshops. Therefore, this page has to be really compact, and you need to make wise decisions of what should be there and in what order. That is also important because, as we know, the most eyes will see the top of the page, and then with each scrolling down less and less and less. But when it comes to multi-page, you don't have this problem because you have way more space to express yourself and express your brand. But on the other hand, it is easy to fall into this trap and just overload the customer with content, which is not always the best idea. And I will emphasize it in next points. So it is really important to adjust your strategy accordingly to what is possible in order to achieve the goal that you want to achieve with your store. So let's move to the benefits of Shop&Shop. So why it is actually worth to have them. Let's start, let's say, with the benefit that I already kind of mentioned, which is like the Shop&Shop gives you a lot of space to express yourself, your brand, to show off more content than it is allowed only on product detail page, because product detail page is pretty much dedicated to the specific product, right? So you pretty much can expect the content that is dedicated to this product, its features, and also the space there is pretty limited because product detail pages are usually not that long. But then on the other hand, Shop&Shop give you let's say, bigger canvas to paint the information about your brand, paint your story, your mission there. So it just gives you much more space to express yourselves. Then it also allows you to create customized branded experience, but you don't have to follow, let's say, the rules of the given e-retailer. So you can create your own layout with your own menu and divide your portfolio into the segment that you want to divide it, maybe by age, maybe by price, by interest points, I don't know, maybe by application or use cases, like for gifting, for occasions and stuff like that. You decide how you want to divide the sections and the pages to let's say, divide the segmentation, divide the products that you're selling. The next thing is definitely a big benefit because it allows you to, let's say, promote the complementary purchases, because usually you have some options to do it on e-retailer's site, like normally on product detail pages, for example, because if you're like watching, if you're browsing and you're seeing, I don't know, like a page for an iPhone, there will probably some sections that will suggest like other phones or other iPhones, but it might not always be your phones, meaning your brand's phones. Maybe it will be competition, because e-retailers' business is to sell something, not only your things. And on Shop and Shop, there are only products of your brand. So you can actually create a good cross-sell scenarios that will allow you to promote other products like sets, bundles, or accessories, and even create like a whole experience around it, and explain why it is worth to add these supplementary products to the to the order. And from brand's perspective, it is way better because they will end up with like three or four products in a cart rather than just one being sold, right? So the units per order, let's say, is growing, and definitely Shop and Shop are helping doing that. Two more benefits. The first one is standing out from the competitors, and this is really important because it is important to understand that not all of your competitors will have a Shop and Shop. So even having it will make you stand out. Having it be nice, updated, and optimized will even make you stand out even more, because there's this like trust factor that people, when shopping, if they see like nice content, they see the official store of something, it builds the trust. So if I were to buy a product from categories that I don't know much about, I don't know these brands, and if I see that one brand has nice content, has official store, and there's some like brand, I don't know, XYZ that I don't know, I will probably trust more the brand with content and brand stores, right? So it definitely helps you stand out. And just to emphasize what I already said, when having this additional space to put more content about your brand, you're able to build trust and emotional connections even with your shopper. And for some categories, it is really, really important, because for some of them, it might not be that much, but for some, it is really important to introduce themselves properly, to tell their story, their mission, how they approach production and stuff like that. And for some shoppers, knowing that about the brands is important in making the purchase decisions, basically. So these are the main benefits of Shop and Shops. Now let's move to actually like how to actually do it right. So how to make stores that are performing, and how to avoid the usual mistakes, and set up the foundation of your store the right way. And there are three most important factors that I can leave you with, and I think that once understanding them, you'll be able to set up the foundations of your store correctly. So starting with the first one, so choosing the right approach and how to do it. The most, let's say, the best approach would be to actually think, how does purchasing process in your category look like? What are you selling, and how your shoppers purchase these products? Because brand stores are not just don't have to be like a fancy leaflet or like a showroom filled with branded content. They are our tool that can be used effectively. And if you understand how your shoppers sell, like how your shoppers purchase the products, you will know how to set up the store in a correct way. And what do I mean by that? Let's imagine that, for example, you're selling like snacks or other things that are purchased on impulse. Then you would need to, let's say, prioritize the product more and prioritize the purchasing possibility more. And for example, put more products even on the homepage already, just to give these shoppers possibility to purchase from the jump. They don't need to scroll through a lot of content and read through a lot of materials to purchase the product. If I have the urge of buying a Red Bull or like a snack or something, I want to do it quickly. So if you understand that and you organize the store in that way, that your shopper always have the quick possibility to purchase, then you can raise your conversion like significantly. And this is like on one hand side, but on the other hand, let's say that you're selling something and that is not like an impulse purchase, but it's rather a purchase that requires a consideration, like analysis of competitors, analysis of materials and stuff like that. So if let's say selling your products requires giving more information about the product, you need to put more emphasis on informative content. So like build the trust, like show all the details about the product, show the use cases, all the features. And you don't need to like promote the products from the jump, like on the homepage. You rather just introduce the customer slowly and build the trust gradually with the additional content about the product itself. Because, for example, I don't know, purchasing a stroller, the usual time and the process of making decision takes around 4 months on average. So people are researching, are reading stuff, are checking stuff also offline in the normal retail stores, and they need time, they need information in order to make the decision. So it would make no sense to give them quick shopping possibilities, because no one on impulse purchase like a stroller, like let's do it, right? They need information, and that's what you should provide. And if you follow the simple rule of trying to first understand how people are purchasing your products, you know the basic, let's say, strategic approach that you should take. Should I prioritize content or product possibilities and purchase possibilities, right? And this applies no matter the structure, if it's one or multi-page. Because if you have one page, you also need to think like what should be the first section, and then how the rest should be arranged, how much content should we actually show, or maybe just focus on products. This is for you to decide based on the category that you're representing, right? So this is the first factor. The second one is thinking from, let's say, the whole e-retailer perspective and thinking about the experience on the e-retailer side, because brand stores and product detail pages go hand in hand. And if you plan to use both, if you plan to, of course, like you for sure you will use product detail pages because they are basic thing on e-retailer site. But if you plan to also use brand stores together with them, you should make sure that you provide, let's say, equal level of quality and provide a seamless transition between them, so that the content on PDP, so product detail page, is optimized, looks nice, and then content on brand stores is also optimized to the same degree, so that there is no bump in the process of going through from one to another, because maybe the content on PDP is updated, but then your brand store is old and outdated and like totally looks different. That can be misleading for the clients and confusing. It might lead them to leave the page and not purchase anything. So that's why it's worth to create this, think about the whole experience. And the third factor is making sure that the navigation is clear and intuitive. And I would like really to emphasize this one, because clear navigation is key in creating good branded experience. Like no matter if you focus on providing quick shopping experience, or if you want to tell a story and like divide it into sections, into steps, into pages, and make it really long. It is worth for the customers to always know where they are and what is to be like expected from the banner that I'm just going to click, like where it will lead me. So for example, like very basic example, if you have a store that is multi-page and you have few sub-pages, it is always worth, and some brands forget about it, it is always worth to make sure that the header, so head banner, or the first banner that is visible on the page clearly indicates what is the page that the visitor is seeing, so that they know that they landed in the good place that they desire to land on. So this is one of the, let's say, the first foundations of user interface design, that people always know what is the current status, as it is called, know where they are and how to go back if they like clicked in the wrong place. And yeah, and also what is important is to provide the good and intuitive redirect options. So if I'm going to a page and I went through the whole page and I don't know, identify what I was looking for, there is something proposed maybe at the end or midway that can lead me to another page. And if I'm not satisfied with what I see, I can go somewhere else because the brand proposed me some other pages, rather than just leaving the page and not doing anything on the store anymore. So let's just keep the traffic in the loop and always propose good, let's say, useful redirects from one page to another. And using these three factors, which is not a huge thing, can really elevate the performance of your store from like being unsatisfactory and we don't know why it's not working, to properly working store that has good foundation, and then we can build on to make it work even better. And just to show you why nailing these basics is really useful, I can show you like an example of a case study that we did for one of our clients, because on this graph, you can actually see how uncluttering this, in this case, it was two basic things. Because here on the store of this client, the first factor was lacking. So the structure, the approach of the store was not suited well for the category. And the third factor was not working. So the navigation was not working properly, and clients were looking for the products, but were just lost in the navigation of the store. So fixing these two made such an improvement that you can see across all of the markets, before and after, year-to-year comparison. And just to give you, let's say, a bit of a background, this category was a sports nutrition supplements. So this is something that you are consuming regularly. People, let's say, find a product, stick to it, and restock on it. And for example, what we did is we definitely emphasized that the product has to be quickly available on the store, so that the people don't have to look for their favorite protein or something. They can access it and purchase it from homepage as quick as possible. And then doing some small changes to navigation let us improve the conversion rate on all of the markets, and to a different degree, but for all of them, it was at least 40% difference in terms of the previous conversion rate to the one after the improvements. And this is only by fixing the basics, pretty much. And just to, let's say, jump in front of the questions, this like comparison was done by taking all the factors into consideration. So the traffic that was going to the page, to the store, it was only organic. So there were no like paid factors that could influence the conversion rate. So it was only, let's say, the store and how it was set up. Then it decided how, let's say, how the performance looked like. And also, we also checked that there were no, let's say, stock fluctuations. The both periods were really comparable, and that's why we really trust this data, that we can see that the changes that we implemented, they worked, and they worked well. So as I said, this is only by fixing the basics, and now let's see what we can actually do to let's say, how we can adapt the store to make the most of these high seasons, seasons of higher traffic, seasons when brands tend to do some activations, do some additional campaigns, and lead some more traffic to the store. How we can utilize it so it works in our favor and we squeeze out the most from these periods. And it is, of course, right now we can say Q4, but in general, all of the periods when you have peaks within your category, it is important to adjust your store accordingly and properly. Okay, so let's start with how we should be prepared and what should actually change, because Shop is a really perfect landing page for all your advertising activities. Why? Because usually when you're creating campaigns, you're leading the customer, for example, to the product detail page, and that's okay. That's good, because then the purchase may happen. That's good. But this is only good for when you're aiming at, let's say, the end of the conversion funnel, when the decision is almost done and you want to, let's say, push the customer into making the purchase. But then Shop is also even better idea, because then instead of only leading the customer into one product, you can lead him into the store, where you can create the experience that is underneath. So maybe you can lead this person through some steps and maybe suggest some other products as well, some other options, maybe provide some content that can support the purchase decision, and not only like sell one product, but maybe few of them. And what is really important is to choose wisely. If, let's say, that you decide to lead your traffic to the Shop, it is important to choose wisely to what kind of a page are you leading them. Because if your campaign is focused on building, for example, awareness, so like the beginning of the funnel, if you want to just introduce yourself, like build awareness about the brand, and show off all of the information about the products, about the technologies, it is better to lead them to inspirational pages. So pages that are filled with content that provides this information and introduces the brand. But if your campaign is more focused on conversion, on actually making the purchases and selling out something, for example, then it is worth to lead the customers to the pages when they can make the purchase quickly, when they can easily see the offer, see what products are available, and can add the product to the basket almost immediately. And this is important to wisely choose the landing page of your campaign and adjust it to the needs of your campaign, pretty much. The second thing about, say, adjusting your store to these periods is making sure that your offers are visible. And yeah, I talk a lot about campaigns and additional paid traffic brought into the store, but this is not the only way you can, let's say, convince the shoppers to make the purchase, because it is also important to make these offers visible also organically. So if you have like a multi-page shop and shop, or even one page, you can have some like section with offers or something like that. It is important to make it visible. And how to make it visible? For example, if you have like a I don't know, separate page that is dedicated to offers, I know that probably for many brands will direct the traffic there, but if we want to focus on organic traffic that comes to our store, let's promote this page on homepage, for example. Let's put a huge banner at the top, or maybe not that huge, but let's put a banner on the homepage that will inform these shoppers that, hey, like, it's great that you're here. We actually have offers right now. We have something on sale, so maybe you want to check it out. So homepage is a great place because, as we know, from organic perspective, homepage is the place that is seen by the most eyes. Let's put it that way. So this is the best place to promote some things. And for example, offers is a thing that you can promote there. Also, what is good to utilize is navigation menu, because this is also a thing that most of the people use when navigating through the store. So if you have an option to, for example, add a link to the offers page or to offers section to the navigation menu, do it, because this is also one of the places that most eyes will see and would like to navigate to. And what is the, let's say, third idea that might not be obvious for some of people who create stores, is also to utilize the most popular pages on your store. Because maybe for some of the pages, they're just simply dragging in the traffic because it's called, I don't know, bestsellers, or see what's new, and people are drawn there, or maybe your other campaigns drag the traffic there. So if the page is visited by a lot of people, it is also seen by a lot of eyes. It is also a good idea to promote your offers there. So maybe not to overwhelm this page with the offers banner, hey, go to offers page, but maybe just add a note like small stripe, small banner, or small link that will let these people know that, hey, there is a section that we have actually a good offers with, and by doing that, these most popular pages can also contribute to dragging some additional traffic to the store, and you don't have to rely only on paid traffic. That's what I want to emphasize, basically. And the third thing is actually going beyond the offers, because during this high season, offers is just one thing that you can do. You might invest a lot in having offers, and you might want to invest only some money. But then what is important is it will always, let's say, catch the attention of people. And you can, like, if maybe your offers are not what they were looking for, or maybe the specific product that you're offering are not what they want to purchase, you can use this effect of like people catching people's attention to redirect this attention to something else that you want to promote. So utilize this halo effect, as it is called, that people already got to your page because you advertised some offers. Maybe they didn't find what they were looking for, but you're promoting something else that it's still interesting. And maybe it is other products that you want to sell out, or maybe it is like a technology or like new product that you want to build awareness around. And this is a perfect time to do it because, yeah, this is the moment that most eyes will see it. So you can utilize also this attention that is built around the offers. And even if people won't buy something, they might still, let's say, reach the objective that you wanted them to reach, pretty much. And just one minor thing at the very end, which is also important during these periods, is, as we know, during these periods, the store will experience way more traffic, probably either from paid campaigns or just organically because people are looking for stuff during these high seasons, or maybe during like occasions that are built around the e-retailer itself, like Prime Day with Amazon, or some other occasions on some other e-retailers. So during these periods, usually people look for things, and what you might experience is that some of the things on your store will probably sell out quite quickly. I don't know, maybe you put a good offer, it'll sell out, and maybe people were just interested in some products and they purchased it. And it is worth to keep, let's say, a closer look and do more frequent checks and put some more attention to the store to basically utilize this whole period, because maybe some things were sold out quickly and it's worth to replace them with something else. Because then, like, imagine that in first 2 hours of the offers, you sell out like 30% of the products that were visible on the top, and then all the people that are coming to the store are seeing out of stock, out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. So it is worth to check it and maybe replace this product with something else, with something that you can still sell out and propose to the client to provide a good experience. Because if there will be more traffic coming to your store, and people will see and that actually, okay, it's like no deals, this is out of stock, it might just create a bad experience for them. So that's why it is really worth to keep a closer look on it. And this not only like applies to availability, but especially on marketplaces. If your offers are fighting with offers from other sellers, you might lose the buy box. So what you don't want to do is to, for example, if you're losing buy box on this specific product and you're not the one that is fulfilling the order, you don't want to promote offers for other sellers, right? So if you see that you're losing the buy box, just try to replace the product with something else, like, I don't know, either drag it down or remove it from the page, because you don't want to give additional visibilities to some other sellers that are maybe at this moment selling out this product because, I don't know, the retailer decided that they will give the buy box to them. So so this frequent checks during the occasions applies both to availability of the product and also to buy box, and that's what I wanted to basically emphasize. And actually utilizing these three, but actually even four, let's say, strategies will help you really squeeze out even more from these periods. If you have additional traffic invested in, or if you don't have, if you only rely on organic, we also have some strategies here to help you drag more attention to your products and build awareness about the things that you want to build awareness around, pretty much. Because some of the brands utilize these periods not into sales, but rather in building awareness about their products. Because yeah, shoppers are coming to the store expecting some sales, and okay, maybe I won't find them, but then I'm here and maybe I see something that is interesting. Maybe they launched a new product or a new collection of something, and yeah, I have more information. And sometimes this is the objective of the brand. You might not even know that you're not purchasing the product, but you did what they expected you to do. And building awareness sometimes takes a lot of time. So that's why it is like a long game rather than like a quick thing with conversion and offers. So yeah, that's why also these occasional situations are sometimes a part of awareness campaigns, basically. Okay, let's jump to, maybe let's go back to normal day-to-day life of the stores. And we talked about the special moments, so events and activations, high seasons. And let's see how the usual maintenance can look like in order for you to make sure that the store stays relevant and remains useful for you and for your business, pretty much. So how to remain relevant? The standard maintenance effort can be grouped into three categories, basically. It will allow you to stay on the surface and not drown in the sea of competitors and the ever-changing needs of the shoppers. So here again, I tried to like boil it down to the essence and the most important thing that you can follow in order to make sure that your store is fresh and attractive for your customers. Seasonality. It might not be that obvious, and of course, maybe for not all of the brands and for not all of the categories, because for each of the industries, it plays a bigger role or a smaller role. But it is really worth to consider how it can apply to your brand, because, for example, if you're selling FMCG, and for example, we have a summer right now. Maybe not right now, but let's imagine that we have summer right now. You would like to promote it using the imagery and uses cases for this specific season. So I don't know, maybe meeting outside, spending time with your friends. And on the other hand, if it's winter, maybe you want to focus on occasions like holidays or something else. So propose different use cases. If you're selling like a sports gear, I don't know, if it's summer, you would like to focus more on summer sports. But if it's winter, maybe you would like to focus on winter sports, and maybe not even on sports themselves, but the imagery. So situations when people use it, they will identify with them better if they see that they're okay. This is the occasion that is for me now useful because I don't know, it's snow and I might use these accessories rather than summer ones, right? So that's why it is important to adjust your store even slightly to the season that is the current season, right? Really important thing is the updates on content and assortment. And here, I know that the content is quite a big word, but in general, what I want to say here is we want to avoid confusing the shopper at any cost. So we don't want to keep any outdated information on the store, like a campaign that is no longer running, or for example, calling an old product a novelty. Hey, we have something new and it's iPhone 12, like cool, right? But it's like 15 already. So we don't want to confuse our client because they might think, okay, it's some kind of an old page. Probably the content is no longer valid. I don't know what to do here, and they might just leave. The same goes to the products. We don't want to promote products or even show products that are no longer within the active offer. So because like especially on marketplaces, they might be sold by someone else at this point. I'll be reselling by someone else, and again we are going back to the point of promoting the offers of some other sellers. We don't want that. So if something is going out of active assortment, let's take it out. Let's not confuse the client. And also it applies to novelties. Let's stay on the top of the game and let's add all of the products that are currently our most fresh novelties, because people will be looking for them pretty much. Maybe they have like their beloved e-retailer that they always purchase the products on, and they will look there. They will find your store, and if the product that is right now advertised is not longer there, they won't purchase it basically. So what other application here is, I think, important, and again, it might not be obvious, but even the basic thing like visual guidelines or visual feel of your advertising that you're currently running somewhere else to be also, let's say, updated on the store. And what do I mean by that? Let's say that you have currently running campaign that has a specific look, and on your store you have some old campaigns. Again, it creates confusion. Or even more, let's say, striking example, that you've changed your logo, you've changed your visual, let's say, side of your branding, for example, and the shopper goes to the store and sees the old logo and all things. Again, you're creating confusion, and people might be leaving the store at this point. So that's why it is important to update the content and assortment as well. And the third factor, which is, I think, neglected by most of the brands, is to really stay inspired and from time to time, on a regular basis, go out of your bubble and check what your competitors do, what maybe some other industry leaders do, because maybe, just maybe, the e-retailer introduced a new feature to the store and all of the competitors are already using and benefiting from it, and you're missing out. Maybe some brand stores from other industries that may not be one-to-one applicable to your store, but then they found an interesting way of utilizing this module, or have some inspiring things there, and they might feed your, let's say, strategy, and you can then adjust and, as I mentioned at the beginning, stay on the surface and don't drown, and stay on the top of the game. So really, it is important to stay inspired and just check out the competitors from time to time for what is going on. And actually, when it comes to the advice and to some strategies and best practices for the brand stores, this in essence is pretty much it. And I'm really curious to hear, let's say, if you have any comments or questions to this process. So yeah, let's chat. That's a very good question, because that's a common, let's say, a common challenge for the brands, because they start to get used to what Amazon offers, and Amazon in this whole landscape gives you really a lot of options to build from, because they have like specific tool to build the Shopinshops, and they allow you to implement a lot of pages, a lot of different modules. So they're really like a, I would say, like a luxury for these brands. And some brands build the store on Amazon and they have no idea how to adjust it and adapt it to non-Amazon applications. And yeah, this is quite complicated because, as I briefly mentioned at the beginning, each e-retailers has different technical environment. So for us, it is important to understand what is possible on the given e-retailer and actually what we can implement there, and how we can apply what we created on Amazon to these non-Amazon e-retailers, because usually the options are way more limited. I would say 90% of e-retailers don't give you the option to build multi-page Shop. So imagine that you have multi-page Shop on Amazon, beautiful, many pages, and then you want to create something on one page, and how to adapt it, how to adjust it. This is really a challenge, and this is why also I emphasize the importance of strategy and how to organize this one page so it's not overwhelming. You need to completely change your mindset, because sometimes this one page store comparing to the Amazon one may look way simpler, but then it plays the role that you want it to play, and you don't want it to overload with the content, and that's why it looks the way it looks. And for the brand, it still is a useful thing, and for the customer, it has a good experience. But yeah, as you said, for example, yeah, Amazon gives a bit limited options in terms of A+, and on other retailers you have like HTML rich cards where you can do pretty much anything. Some retailers also allow implementation of Shopinshops using HTML. So you also can even go beyond what Amazon gives you, and you can create the structure that you want. But it is for let's say for the brand or for the agency, it is important to first understand what is possible. If we can have one page, if we can multi-page, okay, I know what modules are available. Okay, maybe we can have HTML. That's even better. Let's go and let's create the best possible experience. But yeah, each time you have to pretty much adapt and adjust to the given e-retailer. What is also possible that, for example, if you're planning to sell your products and build Shopinshops on e-retailers that allow HTML implementation, you can create like a template. And I could see it being done by many brands, that they create like an HTML template that they simply paste into many e-retailers. Like Dyson is a great example. Dyson has pretty much the same Shop, or recently had pretty much same Shop across many e-retailers, and you can see that this is a one HTML template being pasted everywhere. And this is a good approach because it provides consistency. It is easy to execute. You don't have to adjust the content each time. So if you utilize it in a smart way, it can be really useful for you because you can save time as a brand on creating them, and also still provide good branded experience. It actually pretty much depends on, like, starting from the beginning, which you said, it depends on e-retailer for sure. On each retailer, such occasions may work differently, but it mostly, let's say, relies on the cooperation between the brand and the e-retailer themselves of how they want to the deals to be, deals or offers to be set up, because e-retailer can, as a paid solution, can propose you, like you mentioned, kind of like a brand store, which is like a campaign landing page pretty much, and they can keep an eye on it and maintain it during this season. So I know that, for example, on Amazon, this is how it works. That the brand is doing it directly with Amazon, and Amazon builds such sections and provides the traffic there and make sure that the whole, let's say, ecosystem of advertising and promoting Prime Day, for example, is connected to this specific page. Of course, brand can like underline, hey, we also want a banner that will redirect to our brand store because we also want to reach some other goals, not only sell product, but maybe build awareness about something else. And we know that your landing page that you're building for us is cutting a lot of attention. So we want to also redirect some traffic to the brand store, and they are totally okay with it. But this is Amazon example. So on Amazon, in most of the cases, Amazon does. When it comes to other e-retailers, it depends pretty much on the e-retailer and what capabilities they give you, because for some of them you cannot build like a separate landing page for your offers. For some of them you can. So it is like wild world there. So it is basically going to each e-retailer and checking what is possible. Usually these e-retailers have like prepared media packs or media packages, so showing you off all of the advertising options that they give you during like normal periods and during like high season periods, that maybe you can purchase some visibility on homepage, or maybe purchase a landing page that they can build for you. But yeah, it pretty much, as I said, depends on the retailer. But if we go back to the Shopinshops, it is usually not handled by, for example, my team. It is usually done between the brand itself and their sales team and the retailer, and how they arrange the deal situation. I think that the best example would be that, for example, using Shopinshops, we can actually build, rather not only focus on the conversion process, so dragging the client from the Google from the listing or in-store SEO, dragging to the product detail page. We can actually build a better branded experience on e-retailer's side. So just like I explained at the very beginning about the idea behind the Shopinshops. So building a Shopinshop and creating your experience, and it would be the best idea would be to like work on your visibility of your store, so that the customers that get to the e-retailer can see your store as soon as possible, and you can drag them into your experience as soon as possible, so that they don't see other competitors, for example. Because I don't know, maybe you're selling phones, maybe Samsung phones. You don't want the customers to see too much Apple on the way. You want to be visible on homepage. Quickly drag the attention to your store, and then if they're on your store, you are the master of the experience. Let's put it that way. So you organize how the products are divided, how to sell this product, how to convince the client that this is the product that they want, that these are the features that will solve his problem, for example. But then simply, if the customer is just wandering around the retailer and they are purchasing a product that is rather an impulse purchase or like a restock purchase, then by creating the store, you can propose, I don't know, even on homepage, create like a bestsellers section or most popular. You're also building this, this sense of trust, and also that the people, okay, other people purchase it, so maybe it's also good for me. And you're giving quick shopping experience, so they're purchasing the product quickly, but you're also showing other products from your brand only, that maybe, okay, maybe I also need this, maybe this supplement will be also good, maybe for my training, my routine, this will be also good. And again, you can improve the of course, units per order from the perspective of the brand, but then from the customer perspective, they have learned that there is more products from the brand that might be interesting for me. I have some additional information about the brand, so I can trust them, I can stick to them. So these are, let's say, the examples of how you can improve the experience, but also how to fit it to the shopping habits of the given category. Because if the category requires an information and a lot of, I don't know, convincing, you bring the big guns and bring the content, videos, educational content, inspirational content. And if it's a quick shopping experience, you can give few options. You can give quick buy buttons available on your store to make sure that the experience is adjusted to the needs of the given consumer. Which retailer? I would say that any retailer that allows HTML implementations, because of course, usually these retailers have some rules around HTML, what you can do in terms of like sizes and stuff like that. But in general, when it comes to coded solutions, you have the most power, because you are not limited to the sections that are provided by the retailer themselves. So you can create the slider that you want with as many images as you want, of course, within reason. But then you can create a section with images that you want to have, with the sizes that you want to have. As I said, you have to stay within the limits, the technical limits of like the how wide the page can be, and etc. But then when it comes to modules and how you create the experience, do you have like shoppable images or not? And like you have the most power over code, because like you're not limited to the modules. It is a pretty, like, I would say quite general, but I would say I would again repeat, depending on your category, you decide what you want to share. Because if you have a huge variety of options and you have the HTML implementation available, it doesn't mean that you have to go bananas with the content, because that may be not the thing that your customers need in this given moment. Because, for example, I want to purchase Coca-Cola because I have the urge of purchasing a can of Coke, and I don't want to see amazing content about the history of Coca-Cola. So you need to approach it wisely, and not only jump into all of the possibilities that the given retailer gives you, but first thing what is important for your customers, and then utilize all of the options that you need. Because if you are Dyson and if you have amazing technologies on board and cutting edge, new technology, you want to show it off. You want to like explain, educate the customer, and that's when this interesting and attractive content might help you. But if you are like, I don't know, selling something that is like that you consume on daily basis, like medicines, for example, you want to just give a quick possibility to purchase, not overload the experience. Even though the retailer gives you such option, you might simply not need to do it in your strategy, and that's it. So just as a finishing word, thank you very much for joining and being here with me. I hope you found this interesting, and if you want to discuss it further, you can of course reach out to us. You can reach out to us via email. You can visit the page eStoreLabs.com, and you can, like, if you're interested in more of such content and more of such webinars or maybe insights, please go ahead and follow us on social medias, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok, for example, because some things are interesting, some things are insightful, but you can also learn a bit more about us as people there. Okay, then, thanks a lot. Thanks for being here, and I hope you have a nice evening.